McCain issues nasty insult to President Trump. Should McCain be impeached? And Benghazi Hero says Susan Rice should testify about spying. Then this should happen to her. Then we have black woman says sick of white people, approaches family and does the unthinkable. And finally, Rush Limbaugh just discovered who really interfered in the U.S. election. Immediately tells his audience. Let's get right into it. John McCain issues a nasty insult. A heated debate is roaring on the Senate floor, and Senator John McCain has betrayed his party and sided with the Democrats. A vote to confirm President Trump's nomination for Supreme Court Judge Gorsuch is scheduled to take place by tomorrow. The Democrats plan to filibuster the nomination, which requires a supermajority of 60 votes to approve and a well-respected judge. Democrats plan on blocking the nomination, which will force the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to invoke the nuclear option. John McCain, appearing on MSNBC, called President Trump a stupid idiot for considering this option. John McCain must be confused what party he belongs to if he thinks he can get away with insulting our duly elected president like that. Republicans have a majority in the Senate with 52 seats, but they require 60 votes to confirm Judge Gorsuch if the Democrats filibuster. Mitch McConnell has vowed to go nuclear if the Democrats try to block Gorsuch's confirmation. The Democrats began the process of eliminating the need for the 60-vote supermajority to end a debate in the Senate in 2013. Then Senator Majority Leader Harry Reid changed the filibuster rules for the federal court nominations, and that's why we're able to do it now. So what Harry Reid, the Democrat, did in 2013 is helping us and screwing them now. The Democrats blamed overwhelmingly Republican opposition in 2013 to justify changing the rules 4 years ago. Yet now they cry foul when the Republicans do the same. The changes to how debate is settled in the Senate reflects the hyper-partisan environment of modern politics. By all measures, Judge Gorsuch is an ideal Supreme Court justice. Mitch McConnell is leaving the decision up to the Democrats. The nuclear option will not be invoked if they are willing to accept common sense. But if the Dems continue to drag their feet and scream like children, then we will need to go over their heads and nominate Judge Gorsuch with a simple majority. We will have our preferred judge one way or another, McConnell said. It's great. Benghazi Hero. Susan Rice should testify about spying. Then this should happen to her. Prison. It is shocking to see top officials still acting in a corrupt manner even though he has been removed from elective office. He can no longer protect his liberal lackeys, and they'll soon have to face punishment for their heinous actions while under his power. It was recently discovered that Obama's former National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, targeted key members of Donald Trump's campaign and administration in intelligence gathering reports. She's been caught in lie after lie and now needs to face up to be investigated. Benghazi Hero, an Army Ranger, Chris Paronto, stated, "I wanted to see Rice go to a subcommittee hearing and have Representative Devin Nunes dress her down, and then they'll see her walk out in handcuffs. Let the whole world see her walk out of that room in handcuffs." Paronto is absolutely right. Rice deserves to be put in cuffs. Our intelligence organization should not be playing politics and trying to get information regarding certain political opponents. Their role is to protect us from violent groups and individuals both at home and abroad. The lines have been muddied, and with a lot of revelations being made about the different intel groups, it certainly is a worrying time, to say the least. The FBI let Hillary Clinton get off the hook when she had a private email server that was hacked and classified information was stolen. There have also been extensive reports about the wiretapping scandals regarding President Trump and his team. If this isn't nipped in the butt once and for all, it is going to become a slippery slope. Letting these liberals get away with their crimes sets dangerous precedent for any corrupt politician. It teaches them that they can get away with anything and not fear punishment. It's 100% wrong, and it needs to end now. This is really serious. President Trump needs to be able to trust his intelligence agencies and not be worried about them hacking into his team. A president can't do his job to the maximum effect if he's constantly watching his back for knives. Rice was focused on discovering the internal workings of Trump's transition team and administration, hoping to find dirt about them. For her request this type of information, it needs to have some sort of foreign intelligence value, and it did not. Her actions were a felony, and she deserves to rot in prison for them. This would be a great opportunity to show that they can no longer abuse their political power and get away with it. Barack Obama and Susan Rice, along with the rest of the treasonous traitors, need to be measured for matching orange suits. We the people will not rest until justice is served. Please share this with your friends. And the next story. Black woman says sick of white people and approaches a family and does the unthinkable. We know the mainstream liberal media, with their widespread hatred for people who simply have white skin, will not cover this story, so we will. New Jersey native Angela M. Jones is a black woman who is sick of white people. In a despicable showcase of how far this country has fallen since Obama's administration, and because of it, not since, because of Obama's administration, she brutally attacked a white man named Bob who preferred to have his last name withheld. Man, why are you letting somebody hit you like that, bro? She not only attacked Bob, but she also damaged his boat. It all started when Bob and his wife Catherine stopped at a Virginia gas station to fill up their gas tank at a trip to Florida. Bob heard Angela muttering and yelling from inside her car, but did not know exactly what was going on. He did the right thing. He ignored her to avoid conflict. At this point, Angela completely lost her mind and pulled out a hammer. Get! Oh my God. In a disgusting showcase of ignorance and bigotry, she began towards Bob's vehicle and attacked his boat and struck them repeatedly with the hammer. In fact, by the time she was done, the hammer was destroyed. So she hit his vehicle and his boat. Angela then took it a step further and attacked Bob directly with the hammer. You could see that he is clearly injured and covered in blood from this attack. The deranged person took it a step further and actually spit in Bob's face. It is impossible to tell if she had any diseases spread by human fluids, coupled that with the complete and utter disrespect, that it is easy to see how insane this all seems. During her attack, she was heard saying that she is sick of fancy white people. Wow, this is a pretty bold statement considering minorities are always the victims, according to the left. When it comes down to it, the people who have been screaming things like racist and misogynist are actually the most racist and sexist people in existence. I've said that all along. This is not the first time we have seen a black on white hate crime, and sadly it will not be the last. The tragedy is that these issues will never be discussed by any major leftist media outlets. There is a huge problem with the lack of discussion and the form of censorship that the left is using to make things worse. The liberals are stuck in a fantasy world. If you are a minority, you can't do anything wrong. This is simply not the case. People need to be accountable for their actions. The color of your skin does not matter. A hate crime is a hate crime. We have faith that as time goes on, reason will prevail. We can move forward and start holding people like Angela accountable for their actions. We need to start basing what we say and do on facts, reason, and common sense. The uphill battle is something that we can win. Patriots like us just need to stay strong. And finally, Rush discovered who really interfered in the U.S. election, immediately tells his audience. The integrity of American elections have been undermined by the illegal actions of this man. And we're not going to let them get away with it. Susan Rice was, no doubt, spying on President Trump, on the Trump campaign and the Trump transition team. Rush told his audience Susan Rice and the former FBI John Brennan had been caught red-handed. They spied on American citizens who had connections to the Trump campaign and transition. They then released the information to the press. That's also a felony. The liberal media continues to defend Obama and his lackeys as the scandal is revealed. They claim the spying was legal and non-political. However, Rush Limbaugh points out that the spying must have been political, okay? And the White House does not do investigations. The FBI investigates. The CIA investigates. The NSA investigates. But the White House does not investigate, he explains. The fact that the White House was responsible for spying proves the unmasking was political. If it were a matter of national security, it would have been investigated by an agency responsible for national security. Barack Obama abused the powers of the government in order to aid the election of the Democratic Party. This is an unprecedented abuse of power that is bigger than Watergate. And again, I'll say it, Watergate was huge and the president had to resign because of Watergate. And this is bigger. The Watergate scandal was committed by Nixon administration. It also involved spying on political opponents in 1972. Agents working on behalf of President Nixon broke into the Democratic office to plant spy devices. However, this recent spying scandal is way worse. In both scandals, a president abused their power to spy on a political opponent. Yet the Obama administration took their crimes a step further by releasing the classified information to the press in an attempt to hurt the incoming administration. Susan Rice is defending her actions as being in the interest of national security. Yet the Trump transition team was not breaking any laws or doing anything out of the norm for an incoming administration. They merely conducted phone calls with foreign governments to prepare them for their term in office. There was no crime committed by Republicans, and there was absolutely no involvement from Russian government. The only crime that committed was by Barack Obama and his cronies. Congress needs to investigate. The trials need to be held at once. We need to revive the integrity of our elections and prove that we will not tolerate any government meddling in our elections, especially our own. We're sick of it. We're done. Thank you, Rush Limbaugh. I knew that, but you cleared it up for some other people who don't know it. Thank you for watching. Please share this with your friends on Facebook and Twitter because the mainstream media is hiding it. But we're not here at Not Fake News. That's what we do. We come to you with the truth, and we're not beholden to any big corporate money. We don't have any money anymore. Even YouTube is shutting us down.